The Border Brothers Mexico were founded on the streets of Tijuana, Baja California in the beginning of the year 1989. The exact name of the founders is unknown, but it is known that their members were donkeys and guides of undocumented immigrants. They quickly spread on the streets of Southern California, including Los Angeles, as well as inside Southern California prisons where they had their first offensive with the Mexican Mafia. The war broke out between both gangs, the Mexican Mafia defending their leadership and the Border Brothers seeking to gain respect for Latinos in the prison system with a different way of doing politics. Each member enjoyed equality and respect. They had the right to choose. Unlike the Mexican Mafia, where there was a chain of command, it is unknown to their representatives through voting. In late 1989 or early 1990, the Border Brothers started in Arizona. What is known, according to information from the Arizona Anti-Gang Agency, that these were started in the Winslow prison complex by 8 individuals. Upon learning of the founding of these new gangs, the Mexican Mafia of Arizona launched against them in a brawl in which there were deaths and many injuries. As usual, after each brawl, transfers were made to the inmates to disperse them, but in doing so, also dispersed the movement. A year later, they went from being a few to being hundreds of members, 5 recruited by this new brotherhood. There was a huge inequality in the prisons. Latinos were treated in a humiliating way. They were outraged by the race that believed themselves to be superior as Chicanos. At the beginning of President Bill Clinton's term, he adopted laws that were not tolerant for those who committed crimes, which led to the entry of thousands of Latinos to prison in the years 1996 and 1997. Hispanics became one of the most numerous ethnic groups, and thanks to this the gang grew very fast. In 1994, one of his generals created a communication key to avoid that the orders sent by the high command were intercepted by the anti-gang agency. The alphabet had been replaced by digits and words in bold. In this way the 22 arises, which stands for Border Brothers in code, which is how 22 is adopted by the gang as a badge. In addition to this, the general creates an honor code that says, "If I go forward, award. If I stop, strengthen me, and if I kick back, kill me." This code became the hammer that sentenced to death all those members who hesitated before an order from the high command for those who were accused of violating any of the 8 rules or treason because of the code. A purge was carried out within the gang, which gave the impression that there had been an internal war that left dozens of dead and wounded. According to the anti-gang agency, attributed the invention of the code and the honor code to one of its generals nicknamed El Mayor. Now it is known that the code was subtracted from the honor code of the Guatemalan Special Forces Los Caviles. The 90s marked an unprecedented era of violence in the prison system in the state of Arizona due to the wars led by the gangs. The Border Brothers for a few years in search of their emancipation, later by the leadership and control over the domestic drug market. So much violence caught the attention of the local government, giving rise to the decision to separate all Hispanics born outside the United States. So they were isolated in the Corner Complex in Tucson, Arizona. There they remained for several years, and after winning multiple lawsuits for amparos for violation of human rights and discrimination, the court ordered that they be mixed with the other inmates in all the prisons again.